Plus, to be part of your day, Kevin Miller in the morning on KIDO Talk Radio. Phone number is 580-5436. 580-KIDO. Let's go to our newsmaker line. Helen Raleigh joining us from Denver, Colorado. Helen, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin.
So, North Korea, looks like we might have a historic summit. How significant would this be?
Well, it's very, very significant because this is the first time the leader of the free world will sit down with the leader of North Korea. This never happened before.
Well, tell us a little bit more.
Well, so ever since Trump announced that he would accept the North Korea's invitation, we don't know if this summit actually is going to happen yet because North Korea has mysteriously remained very quiet. We cannot find any information from North Korea's own state media to report about it. But I think with on our side, it seems like Trump's making quite a bit of a personnel change, in his cabinet and his advisors. It seems like he's setting up for have a discussion. He's determined to push this talk forward. So this is a historical moment in many, many regards. Like I said, first of all, it's the first meeting. It's going to be the first meeting between the two leaders of two very different countries and the socio-economic system. And second of all, not so long ago, after all this nuclear weapon tests and missiles tests, we are talking about war with North Korea. And Trump haters called him, warmongers, and he's going to destroy world peace. And now suddenly things took a 180-degree turn, and it's so unexpected that people who hate Trump didn't know how to react to it. They're totally unprepared that somebody they call the warmongers actually is willing to make peace too. So it's very interesting to see the left's reaction as well.
Well, what do we know, Helen? What do we know about North Korea except they starve their people, they have a lot of guns, and they have a young man running the place? We're technically still at war with them, are we not?
Yes, we are. You're absolutely right. But most people don't understand that. When the Korean War was over, we tried to sign peace treaty with North Korea, but for various reasons, not all parties agreed to it. And also, as I mentioned in my article, over the years, North Korea, for more than 6 times announced that they will not abide by any treaties that is signed at the time of the conclusion of the Korean War. So technically, we are still at war with North Korea. So the Korean War has, never been over. And there's not much we know about North Korea. We knew about the people, ordinary people's suffering, through the defectors. We knew that, this young leader that we should not, Kim Jong-un is somebody we should not underestimate. Even though he's young, looks like he understands the statecraft very well. Just look at how he took advantage of South Korea through use the Olympic to promote, to getting all the good PR for his country. And then his unexpected move to extend the invitation to, President Trump that, either he's been coached by somebody more senior or this is all him, that we should not underestimate him, by his age. And other thing we should know also is, North Korea, our intelligence estimate, North Korea is only a few months away from being able to develop a nuclear weapon that is small enough to be put on a ballistic missile and hit the mainland of the United States. So the timing they choose to want to have a talk now is very, very curious.
Helen Raleigh joining us. Confucius never said, invest like a Zen master, the broken welcome mat. Helen, thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, HelenRaleighSpeaks.com. We appreciate her. Let's go to the publisher of the Gem State Patriot, Tea Party Bob. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Miller. How are you today?
I am living the dream.
Sounds like it. You're talking about all kinds of great subjects today. I wanted to bring up the subject about the prisons. You know, in 2015, I wrote an article on the problems with the Corrections Corp of America. When the company was hired in 1997, they were paid $29 million a year to run the prisons. The contract came to an end when it was alleged the CCA were improperly supervising the prisoners, and they were basically running the prison like a school for gladiators, or survival of the fittest, and we had guards not showing up but getting paid. We had this big scandal. The CCA was basically only interested in making a profit and keeping the prisons full but not rehabilitating the inmates. It doesn't seem like an awful lot has changed since then. We still have many problems with overcrowding and underfunding, a system that, you know, we created because we're the ones who incarcerate these people. Just a week ago, a good friend of mine told me of a young man, 18, who participated as a driver in a car used in a robbery at Jackson 7 years ago where a shooting took place. Now, this young man was an Eagle Scout and honor roll student and just got in with the wrong people. It's cost him 10 years of his life, 10 years to life in prison on his sentence. He was in the CUNA jail and was a model prisoner. He was actually helping tutor the other inmates. Had 2 more years in his sentence and the possibility of parole, and was visibly rehabilitating himself. Now they moved him to Carnes Correctional Facility in Texas, where they have 24 prisoners crammed into one room. They get 2 hours a day for their outside of their housing. And the last batch of Boise prisoners sent down there, I understand, were pretty badly beaten up by the inmates that were in there, because most of them are members of the organized drug cartel. So why do we fail to solve this problem of overcrowding?
Well, let me hold on. Let me wait a minute. Let me jump in here. And this is what makes you so unique, and to a degree, what we do here so unique. You will do the investigative reporting. We have you on, and people always say, "Why do you have Tea Party Bob on all the time?" Because A, it's all about content. Now, you and I are friends, but if you didn't have any content, you'd go the way of Helen Raleigh, with all due respect. There are situations in this state, as you've pointed out, as you've reported on, that makes the power elite uncomfortable. Look, even talking about the trespass bill, because quite frankly, or maybe unfortunately, you and I own the uncomfortable stories that are really happening. Whether it's, you know, this story by the Associated Press where you have a guy who, you know, drinking and driving, he gets allegedly killed by a convicted murderer. Why they're in the same cell, who knows? Dumb. What do they call that? Incompetency. Somebody who
bad management.
Right. When someone, you know, when that happens, that's on the person in charge, the warden or whoever. Number one, but there'll be no repercussions. As we've talked about the Fight Club, and you've talked to this, I mean, the internet scandals, there are no repercussions. People may report on the story. Usually they don't, because you have this power structure that continues to run this state.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. We never solve this problem. We never solve a lot of our problems because of the lobbying and the cronyism that goes on in this state. You know, when you put somebody in jail, you don't put them in there just to lock them away. You are hoping to get them rehabilitated. Why do you think we have such high recidivism here? We incarcerate more people than almost any of the states around us on an annual basis.
Well, I mean, is it money? Do we make money when we send our prisoners to these private places?
Isn't that the big question? Isn't that the big question? Nobody seems to be able to answer that question. Why do we spend $500 million on education to build these beautiful, expensive schools in the Treasure Valley, but we can't put a prison in Canyon County? Come on, there's something wrong here. Where are our values?
Now, before we get going here, I have to say something to you.
Yeah.
Do I have your permission to step on your grass, or will you
Absolutely.
be charging me with trespass?
Yes, you can step on my grass anytime you want. In fact, I'm going to go out there this week and do a little fertilizing.
There's a lot of fertilizing going on, sir.
Be careful what you step in.
Our great friend Tea Party Bob, GemStatePatriot.com. Thank you, sir.
Kevin, it's always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Mark in Eagle, you're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Good morning.
Hey, Kevin. First off, did you get the box of those Media Bypass magazines?
I did. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you'll find even stuff from Corsi in there also. That was when investigative journalism was investigative journalism. Now, I want to talk about this, what's going on with property being bought up here in the state and people encountering former special ops guys. I could tell you part of what's going on is there are a lot of ex-military people, obviously, who have served here and have retired here, but you've got some heavy hitters, generals, people, colonels who have bought, and people who are in the military-industrial complex who have bought property here in the state in areas for their own private, personal, what you might call doomsday getaway.
Yep.
And these people have been hired to basically safeguard the grounds around them. They are contract people. And where I'm going with this is about 2 weeks back, I called into your show, and I think I got I hate to say it, but blown off by you, Kevin.
Now, wait a minute, Mark. With all due respect, Mark, you call all the shows because I hear you on all the shows, number one. And I think
there's only two.
We're very fair with you, number one. And I'm a big fan of
I don't understand.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm a big fan of yours personally. Number two, and number three, we have people on longer than most. I get critiqued all the time that I have people on too long. So when everybody says I get cut off, quite frankly, it's if the conversation is moving in a direction that doesn't engage the audience.
It sounds like you don't want me to call in, Kevin.
No, I didn't say that. Now, here's an interesting situation. And maybe management is right that all we do is just listen. Maybe that's not the thing. You try and have a conversation with someone. And with all due respect to Mark, and we've gone toe-to-toe with Mark for several years, if Mark valued me and you, then he'd engage in the conversation. But he decided not to. Did I say that he wasn't welcome on this program? No. But the idea that, you don't want me to, I didn't say that. But we're all adults here, right? I mean, so many times people criticize talk radio for being marginal. No, look, if we're talking about the trespass bill and you're bringing up the cyclofunnels, or what do they call those, Ray and Maya? The chemtrails. That's right. That's a disservice to the people that are listening. And if you go on for 10 minutes, yeah, you're going to get it. Usually it's like 2 minutes. And when we point stuff out that, like pro-life, people call, that's not engaging. But we wish him well. We really do. Mark's a great guy, very passionate, and I understand passion. I certainly do. It is our biggest strength, and sometimes, in my own experience, it's been my biggest weakness. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. So I'm taking a look at, by the way, Tom Munns is reporting of a situation in Caldwell. Tom, if we're trying to do a radio show, why don't you just call back in and tell us what's going on, right? With the police and everything there. No problem. We'd love to hear from you. And then Tom's like asking me to pull legislation right now with this trespass bill. We do, sometimes when I get lost and people, you can catch that. You can catch me because I'm reading something when I should be doing this show. By the way, what is this? Every Town for Gun Safety is funding a pull-up ad telling Butch Otter, veto Stand Your Ground in Idaho. While our country is calling for real change to stop preventable gun violence, Idaho lawmakers just passed an extreme Stand Your Ground bill. Now it's up to Governor Otter to reject the dangerous bill. They want a petition to go after Butch Otter on this one. Gotta say, I would be very surprised if Governor Otter vetoes that bill. We go to the North End with Pat and Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Pat.
Hi, good morning. I just want to say that Mark is very brave for standing up against your bullying and the things that you do to torment people and twist the truth. Don't have a response, do you?
It seems that when I respond lately, people get oversensitive and say that I cut them off. Or they call Ray Amaya and start yapping to him, and it's like, look, we have got a job to do. You either come on the show or you don't. That's how it is. If you have an opinion that I'm a bad person, good for you. Back it up, sir.
I never said I was a sir.
You sound like a sir to me.
Well, excuse me.
You're not a sir? What kind of name is Pat?
It could be either, and I never told you my gender, and I don't assume that you can figure it out.
Well, in the state of Idaho, you don't have to do that anymore on your driver's license. So these are new times we're living in. So you're a female.
I don't give myself.
So you would be an X, according to the new driver's license.
Yes, in your world, yes, but
okay.
Here's just another perfect example of your ignorance of people like me, and these are the reasons why I'm not going to be quiet anymore. I'm going to call, and I won't be bullied, and I hope Mark calls you back and sets you straight, too.
Well, how was I bullied?
You bullied him.
Didn't Mark hang up on me?
Well, you didn't give him a lot of choices, did you, Kevin?
I don't know. Is that what you want to talk about? Maybe you could call the Mark Show sometime.
I don't want to call it the Mark Show because there is no Mark Show. What I want you to do...
What would you like me to do? What would you like me to do, Pat? Since this is all about you.
Yes, it is about me right now.
So what is your thoughts on the new trespassing bill? X?
I think it has some strong attributes. I do not want people, particularly people like you from the right, on my property. And if you're a right-winger, I would rather you just keep to yourself and don't come near me. So
if a right-winger accidentally stepped on your property, would you charge them? Would you bother the police, the North End police?
If they had the attitude you do, and they came across in an aggressive manner and made it clear that they were conservative or they were a right-winger, I would definitely press charges.
So in other words, if somebody had Make America Great Again hat on, you would charge them?
Kevin, come on. Make America Great. Are you serious?
That's the Donald Trump hat, so that's associated with being a conservative, a right-winger person.
Yeah, I'm clearly aware of that goofy hat that a lot of you people on the right will wear and walk around the mall thinking you're hot stuff. It's very, very offensive.
No, we love America.
No, that's not loving America. That's that in-your-face offensiveness, and that's the kind of
wearing
stuff.
A red hat that says we love our country? Well, what type of world do you live in?
I live in a world, Kevin, where
rainbows and unicorns.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
What's wrong with rainbows and unicorns?
I'll tell you what's wrong with it, and I'm going to be brave like Mark. Goodbye.
We're winning friends and influencing people today. 8:28, Kevin Miller in the morning. Let's get you to work. Oh, this show is getting too inside. Somebody just called Ray Amaya and said, that sounds like Ronnie. Our friend Ronnie from Caldwell. Boy, probably going to get a memo from Jeff the Suit. You're too inside today. Anyway, Kevin Miller in the morning here to Tom Munns, who wants to know what this bill is. It's House Bill 658. Was voted, 45-22 on Monday after nearly 10 hours of debate. Now, this is the bill that I guess is moving back and forth from the Senate, that if you step on somebody's lawn, they can charge you with trespass. And the chiefs of police say, we got enough issues as it is. We really don't need that. We'll talk about it next. Plus, more from the Preston problem. Preston, Idaho's teacher continues to stew. Hasn't been suspended, hasn't been charged, but his turtle has been taken away. We'll talk about it next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie.
Good.
Oh, by the way, if you get a chance and you're on, that LinkedIn, I just got on that yesterday. Very exciting. One more thing to distract us from real life, real issues. Kevin Miller in the morning here at KIDO Talk Radio. Let's go to Dan in Middleton. Good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio. Hey, Dan.
Good morning, Kevin. You're looking well for an old guy. Hey,
Thanks.
these last few guys that have called in, a little too self-absorbed, aren't they? One thing I learned as growing up is you tend to want to tear people down when you don't feel good at yourself. You don't have confidence in yourself. If you have confidence in yourself, you won't try to tear other people down. You won't try to complain about other people's actions. It seems to me these people are far too self-absorbed. Growing up between the big rocks, I have a hard time with these coastal flakes.
I would agree with you, Dan.
Okay, well, I just wanted to say if you're an example of ignorant because of what Pat said, keep up the ignorance, buddy. I'll be ignorant right next to you.
Thank you, Dan. Take care of yourself.
You bet.
I love this. So maybe that's our new Ignorance Radio. All right, 580-5436. 580-KIDO. We go to Liberty Linda on KIDO Talk Radio for from her new appearance from the Ray Amaya promo. Good morning. You make the promo. That's big time around here.
We love Ray Amaya. and we love you, Kevin. Oh my, you can control your own show. It is the Kevin Miller Show. And I think you can take a call from whomever you like. But as for me listening to you, you take calls from everyone. You have people that call in, they're pro or con. And I think that's wonderful about you, And what's wrong with making America great again? Isn't that a positive?
I would agree.
I mean, I don't understand some people, but even though we don't understand them, you've always been fair as far as I've heard you on the radio to everyone. And so anyway, those two last calls were really kind of different, and we know you're fair with everyone.
Well, and that's the funny thing. People, as long as people are respectful, we're great. Pat, that person was respectful. You have some people that can get emotional, and you can't get mad at people when they get emotional because they're passionate, and that's what we need. We need that passion. Liberty Linda, we have all these people coming into town and going, hey, this coach ate a donut at this place. And, well, that's nice, but who cares, number one? And number two, let's get passionate about whether or not your rights are being taken away. That's what really impacts our lives.
I agree with you completely. And, I like to be respectful to others. I like to have care for others and treat other people fairly, even though they may not believe the same as I do. We still have to have respect. They have a right to believe what they believe, as long as they don't hurt someone else. And so anyway, I think you're great, and just keep trucking, do the things you're doing, because I hear you that you're fair to everyone that calls into your show.
Well, if not, you'll hold me accountable. So thank you, Liberty Linda.
Oh, well, we'll hold you accountable.
Yes, ma'am.
But anyway, yeah, let's make America great. That's a positive. It should be a positive for everyone in this nation. So I don't get some of those people that call in and say those things.
Well, they've got issues.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Issues. I've heard that somewhere before.
Yes. It's one of our old slogans here. We've had like 37,000 of them, but yes.
Well, everybody call into the Kevin Miller Show. We want to hear your issues and your positives as well.
Liberty Linda, take care.
Okay, you too, Kevin. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Brad in Boise County with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
Morning, Kevin. How are you today?
Not bad for Friday, but, do we really have weekends anymore?
Well, if you're retired, no.
Exactly. And if you're not retired, you're working to pay for the retired people, so.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you very much.
You're quite welcome, sir. I can only hope to have years of employment to fund your retirement, but please go ahead.
I was just calling in about this bill. I think it's HB 658.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's the one where it says you can change the amount of signing that you have on your property for trespass and no trespass. And my question or my concern is that it looks like it's a way to really lock people out of some lands that previously we had access to without them even knowing that they're trespassing.
See, I would totally agree with you on that, and I think that that's what's going on, and nothing personal, but I don't think that we need former Special Forces operators guarding land in Idaho. Now, if they want to move to California and patrol the streets of Los Angeles, I think we would welcome that. But, I mean, really, we have people that are good, God-fearing, people that love this state, that love their family. Do we really need to be bullied by private security forces? And where's the state government on this? Are we just going to have little fiefdoms of private security, that are run by land? Do you have permits for that? I don't know.
Well, my question, too, is that as I read through the committees that it's gone through in the House and now over to the Senate, that it's not really going through the right committees. It's like they're trying to fast-track this thing through so that it just gets passed without a whole lot of argument and discussion. It didn't get into I guess apparently it's over in the Senate now, and it's in it was the Economic Committee or something, and there's no attorneys on that committee who can rightfully, read this thing and interpret what the intent is.
Oh, well, I mean, this is business as usual. You have the powers that be say no repeal of the grocery tax, but this obscure yet vitally important piece of legislation is fast-tracked.
Well, it's the result of financial, or I should say, influence from people from other states, once again, trying to affect the politics in Idaho.
Well, essentially buying the politics of Idaho.
Absolutely. I just think we need to get a whole lot of people down there for the Senate committee when they start discussing this, and I think it's going to come up for discussion on Monday. They've already had the first reading, which was on Wednesday.
Brad, we'll keep track of it. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Well, we've had just about everybody here outside of Liberal Steve. Joining us now, Ronnie from Caldwell at KIDO Talk Radio, or as someone has alleged, Pat from the North End. Good morning, sir.
That's dude, that's crazy. Anyways, TGIR to everybody, and thank God that Liberal Steve hasn't called in because nobody needs that. But what happened, dude? I was just doing something here, and I heard you say that somebody said that I was calling as a transgender, or someone sounded like Ronnie is a transgender, and I take offense to that.
Well, somebody said that someone who called in sounded like you in drag.
Who's this somebody, by the way? Can I get a name from you?
I can't really recall. Why? What would you do?
I mean, I would do something. You know me. I'll back it up, dude. This is just not cool. I don't call up, places and say that somebody else will sound like a chick, because I take offense to that, dude. I just don't like it,
Well, this is not offensive radio, so
face,
this is not offensive radio. We don't really want to offend anybody here. Heaven forbid talk radio would be offensive.
Well, I didn't call in to get all fired up at you, dude. But you know how sometimes when you're mad at somebody and then you just you can't help it, but you let somebody else have it. And so, anyways, that's what I was calling about.
Well, this has been very compelling.
I know. How's things been going with you, man?
I've had better days.
I know. I think so too, dude. I know. You've had some weirdos on today, dude, but, sometimes it's good to mix it up a little bit.
Well, it takes one to know one.
I know. Me too. All right. Well, I'll let you go, dude. 10-4 over and out.
All right, Ronnie. Thank you.
Your mama.
580-5436, 580-KIDO. Kevin Miller in the morning here. Phone numbers, as we've just given you. I love this. Dave Ramsey, I'm sure, will be talking about this. 65% of Americans save little or nothing, half struggle in retirement. Also, it looks like Stormy Daniels, her lawyer, says she was physically threatened. And believe it or not, March 25th is the day she's going to be on 60 Minutes. Does anybody really want to know about Stormy, her allegations, and everything else? By the way, another thing before we reload here. Letter from Jesus Christ to Oprah sent from Maine, apparently shutting down the prospect of a presidential bid. Oprah has said she repeatedly will not run for president unless she gets a clear sign from God. And then somebody sent her a letter claiming to be Jesus. Talk about people that have a lot of free time. Speaking of free time, this is an issue that will continue to resonate. No, we're not talking about Buffalo beating Arizona last night in Boise, but we are talking about two issues. This new trespass bill that literally, if I step on your property accidentally, you can charge me with trespass, and you can tie me up in court for months, or anybody in court for months. And then the situation in Preston, Idaho, where you have the teacher who hasn't been suspended. The local officials continue to back him. His turtle has been taken away. And like I said, details are emerging in a widely reported story that a Preston junior high teacher fed a live puppy to a snapping turtle. Now the turtle has been taken away from Preston junior high biology teacher Robert Crossland. Other people are coming to his defense amid the outrage and concern of students. Preston parent Ferry Lynn Hansen said the kids involved weren't traumatized and that the puppy had been abandoned by its mother. A local farmer brought it to Crossland, hoping he could save it, but it wasn't accepting nourishment and was expected to die. I see. So the rationale, now we're trying to find a rationale for feeding a live puppy to a snapping turtle in front of students. And now you have the student's parents saying, hey, it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, this is how crazy it is. Okay, the state has come in and taken the turtle, which could either be killed because you didn't have a permit for the turtle, or it could be adopted somewhere else. Let's hope the turtle is adopted somewhere else and get some nice cauliflower or whatever snapping turtles eat. Number one, not live puppies. Number two, it shows you the challenge of the people in Preston, Idaho. Now, I know people say, well, it's not that big of a town. You remove the person that is a distraction. The teacher should be suspended pending the outcome of the investigation. It sounds like the folks in Preston do not want Mr. Crossland to lose his job. Right. Okay. However, and from what I'm hearing, people are calling up threatening him, threatening the school. The FBI allegedly has been called in. I don't know. That's unconfirmed at this time. But you remove the disruption from the situation and try and get things back to normal. Look, we're not advocating any violence. Certainly not. Innocent until proven guilty. On the other hand, if the guy didn't do it, wouldn't they have come out and said it by now? So here's how it went down. The young pup was the last surviving puppy in a litter that had been abandoned by its mother. According to this parent from the Idaho State Journal, they saw the physical condition of the young puppy. It was sick. It wouldn't accept food and was dying. All three kids felt that Robert did the humane thing and the right thing. My children work on farms. They understand life and death. Crossland allegedly talked to the three boys about death by drowning. Now, again, this is from the Idaho State Journal, doing a good job here. They're covering the story. So I don't know if that's appropriate to talk to students about. saying it was faster and less painful than allowing it to starve to death on the farm, and in its weakened state, the puppy reportedly died quickly. While this occurred at 4:30 p.m., nearly an hour after classes were dismissed, Hansen said it was reported by a janitor who claims to have heard the puppy and entered the locked classroom where the animals are kept. Amazing how this goes down. What was more traumatic to my children is the way that Robert has been treated when they worked by his side and seen him be nothing but compassionate and kind. Hansen said, what you, critics and the public, are doing to Robert is more inhumane than anything he did. So in other words, questioning whether or not a teacher should feed a live animal to a snapping turtle in front of students is more inhumane than feeding a live puppy to a snapping turtle. While, again, getting back to this thing, 580-5436, 580-KIDO, you have people supporting this teacher saying that he did the humane thing. Well, again, I love this. Now the state jumps in and takes the turtle. Now you have other people hoping that this man is criminally charged, so there is a record. And she wants this guy to retire. It's not that I want him burned at the stake or anything, but we are always trying to teach our kids, if you see something, say something. What kind of message is it that's sending kids in if we don't say anything? Now, the Franklin County prosecutor, Vic Pearson, stated he received a formal investigation report from the sheriff's office. However, he turned the documents over to Idaho's 6th Judicial District because of, I guess, a conflict of interest. Now they're being inundated with phone calls. I think it really comes down to, is this what you want representing your school? 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And here's another one. Do you believe that our pets, whatever they are, deserve greater legal protection in Idaho? Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. 8:55, Kevin Miller in the morning. Let's go to Dan in Boise. Dan, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I just had a comment because I've had, it was the Eastern Savannah Monitor, and they are predators, so I had to feed them, but I don't think it is right at all to use, like, house pets. I have 2 dogs now. I went to the pet store and I bought mice and rats, and not puppies. And so I don't think that's appropriate at all. And one other thing I wanted to say was that I've seen friends of mine that have pythons or whatever, and they look in the want ads for get a free puppy or free kittens, and that's what they do with them. Not cool.
So you're saying they get the free puppies and the free kittens and they feed them to their snakes?
Yeah, not cool. I don't like that. I don't think that's right. They have to eat, and you have them. Like my monitor, it was 4 feet long when I had a baby, and I had to get rid of him because he was going to grow to 8. So,
what'd you do with him?
No, I gave him to somebody who could take care of him that didn't have kids.
Well, that's a smart move. What's the appeal of having a boa constrictor or a python as a pet?
They're little dinosaurs. They look pretty cool.
Yeah, but they can kill you.
Now I'm older. I don't think they're really good pets at all. They'll eat you.
Yeah, they'll eat you for lunch. I mean, there's always that fear in the back of your head. Maybe when you're asleep, what happens if Bessie the snake gets out and starting to wrap around your leg there?
Right. Yep. That's happened a couple times.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Dan. So you're saying you're asleep and you're in this?
Oh no, we were awake, but this thing still gets out. There's not a cage. They're pretty strong and they're fast when they want to be. So yeah, my niece was taking a shower and there's the lizard sitting in the corner of the bathroom. Yikes.
Yeah, yikes. Dan, thank you for the call. Gary in Nampa, you're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Hello, Gary.
Good morning, Kevin. It's been a stressful show, to say the least.
This is Terry, not Gary, right?
Gary.
Gary, all right. You sound like Terry, but go ahead, Gary.
Well, it'll happen. Us old guys, we all probably sound alike, although I'm older than your parents.
Well, you got to run. Hurry up, sir.
I know, 30 seconds.
Yes.
How's that?
Yes,
2
sir.
points. First, apparently you do not know that the Preston incident was in front of 3 children 1 hour after school. It was a special project of which the mother of 2 of them totally supported the instructor or the teacher. The other aspect, let local